The Johnsky is a YouTube channel run by and run for people over the age of 13. People under the age of 13 should click off of this video right now, or watch with a parent or guardian. Viewer discretion is advised.
You don't scare me!
Milt is freaking today, Militiaman. My name is King Prime, and welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be taking a look at a newish Transformers figure coming from the Generations Legacy line, that being the Stunticon Deluxe Wild Rider. Real quick, before we get into the review, let's take a look at the packaging. And let me pull it out here so that you can actually see it. On the side here, we have a picture of Wild Rider looking very angry with some glowing purple eyes, some Cybertronian. That's, I believe that's his name, at least, written in Cybertronian. On the bottom, we have a more zoomed out photo of that exact same image with some nice neon everything over him. Very eye-catching, very nice, but very bright. And if you don't like bright colors, you're not going to like this box. Anyway, on the front, you do have Decepticon Wild Rider, as well as Transformers Legacy. You have Wild Rider in his alt mode displayed on the front. Transformers Generations up there, Takara Tomy trades. On the side here, you have some other figures that are released in this series, as well as the authenticity stamp, which is there for some reason. On the back, though, we do have some product shots of the figure itself, though, in robot mode and in vehicle mode. He is number 2 of 5 of Menasor, which is also displayed on the top up here, as you can see. You have some stuff that you can decode there, as well as a QR code. If you want to scan that, you can. Some legal jargon on the back, and some legal jargon on the bottom as well. That's pretty much it. I say it in every single video. You only really care about the box if you're a carded collector. I am not. I'm here to review toys, and that is what I am going to do. Freeze frame.
Ares! Destroy my enemies, and my life is yours!
Freeze frame on freeze, and here is Wild Rider. First, let me just take a quick look at his accessories, and yes, I know I'm going out of order kind of on this one, but, it's just for these Transformers reviews. It's probably easiest if I do that first before I actually take a look at the figure. So Wild Rider comes with these two just regular black and silver pistols with scopes on them. They can be attached together like this to make a single pistol, or they can just be dual-wielded like most of the other Stunticon weapons. Wow, amazing. A lot of other Stunticons have, well, not even Stunticons, a lot of these recent Hasbro figures have all come with dual-wielding pistols, which is interesting in my eyes, but it's not the worst. So there you go, you can have him dueling. Yep, boom. Cool. Enough of that. So, real quick, taking a look at the figure itself. He's interesting, I'd say. Of the two that I own as of right now, wow, I completely just noticed this was mistransformed. My bad, whoops. I think I like this one the least. There's just something about him. I just don't like the engineering all that much, to be completely honest. But let's bar that to my final thoughts. Let's take a look at the detailing. So, Wild Rider here, he comes in this nice charcoal sort of gray all around his body and stuff like that. He's got some nice silver and blue detail faithful to the G1 stickers on his chest there. Going into his eyes, he does actually light piping, which I will do my best to show off here. Come on, buddy. You can see it glowing in there. But, there's a light piping strip right there in the middle of his head, and it'll make his eyes glow if you have a better light source, of which I do not, which is always fun. Red detailing down the front of his arms and on his shoulders. Nothing on the legs, actually, they're completely gray, but there's some nice sculpted detail in there as well. On the back, you have a humongous backpack, which is annoying, and this is actually my least favorite part of the figure. I'll go into that more with the transformation, but he's just holding my tongue really hard right now. He's very plain, is what I'm trying to say. There's nothing really to... As for the articulation of this figure, you do have a just a peg that holds his head on like so, nothing simple, no ball joint, but you do have this added piece of articulation right here, which I'll zoom in on. It's just a hinge, which makes transformation a little bit easier for, folding his head away. His arm can go out that far and can also rotate about that far before it gets hindered by the backpack. There's an upper bicep swivel as well as a elbow bend, which can go about 90 degrees, and a hinge at the wrist, which can go in. This is just for transformation though, nothing at the wrist, which is unfortunate. There is a waist swivel, as you saw earlier in the review. I may or may not have mistransformed this guy so that his entire lower body was backwards, but that's on me. But there is a swivel here at the waist, as well as a two-part joint here, a peg which allows the leg to go this forward and that back, as well as a hinge which allows it to go that far out. So you can get him doing the full splits, like the full splits, which is very funny. There's an upper thigh swivel as well as a knee bend, which can go just about 90 degrees, as well as a hinge at foot, which is just really only for transformation, as well as a hinge at the ankle for some nice ankle pivot. So you can get him doing the full splits here, at least as close to the full splits as you can see. Yep. That's pretty funny looking. But now let's get on to the size comparison so I can show you what this guy looks like next to some other figures. Freeze frame.
If you have something to say, then just spit it out already.
Freeze frame unfreeze. So for the size comparison, bring in his cohort here, our previous review, Drag Strip. Here is a normal Lego minifigure, like Luke Skywalker. The golden standard of action figures himself, Dark Times Darth Vader from Star Wars The Vintage Collection. And let me slide him around here and we'll bring in our old friend, Classics 2006 Optimus Prime, who, like I said in the Drag Strip review, towers over him like a lot. It's not even close. It is funny though, I must admit. That's it for the size comparison though. Let's move on to the transformation, and I'll sort of elaborate why this figure isn't necessarily my favorite. Freeze frame. Freeze frame unfreeze. Getting on to the transformation of this figure, it's really simple. Let's just go over some stuff that you can do to make it a little bit more simple for yourself, just to get out of the way first. So first of all, you just want to straighten out the arms and fold in that wrist that I said was just for the transformation. Same on the other side. And then we'll fold in Wild Ratter's actual head here and just tuck that away. Now, the thing that I really don't like about this figure is that this backpack is just flop city, like for real. It is attached just on this hinge piece here, which, detaches the entire assembly. There are two little slits here and two little tabs here that are supposed to tab in and hold onto that backpack, make it a solid connection. It just does not work at all. I know that this can, of course, be tightened, but it's just really annoying that this, $23 figure it was, or $24, whatever it is, doesn't have, proper transformation mechanics. It just pisses me off, but I'm starting to get used to it. That's the main detractor of this. I really don't like this freaking backpack. It's a pain in the ass. But anyway, the next step in the transformation is, of course, to rotate this entire assembly at this hinge while pushing it together. You just heard that click there. Then you'll see these two pegs and these two holes right there, and you're just going to want to push those pegs through those holes so that the hood is now underneath the windshield area and can be pushed down and connected flush against the doors of the car. Once you do that, you can bring down this actual windshield assembly to connect into this hole. As you can see, there's a tab there and a hole there. Just tab that all together, and that'll keep the front of the car all nice and secure in vehicle mode. Next, as you saw previously, you want to rotate at the waist so that you can actually transform the rest of the figure. Next, you want to pull apart his calves like this and push his foot up so that this little peg right on his shin can plug into his toe. Even though it does not also connect, just like we had the problems with the hood assembly, this little assembly here does not also work, and there's even more gripes that I'll have. Same on the other side. And then you simply just fold up the entire thing at the knees. Same on the other side. Fold that all up. You already have seen that these two pegs can go into these two holes that are in the hood here. As you can see, there are little spots for them, as well as a tab which comes out and will rest in this little notch right here. Then you can tab the rear of the vehicle together and swing down the tires, and it will connect all together, and there is the completed vehicle mode. Of course, once Wild Rider is all transformed, you can give him his weapons. There is storage here. As you can see on the top, there are two holes. You can just plug the grips of both of these weapons into those holes, and now you have some storage. For a size comparison, we can bring in our previous review, the Legacy Drag Strip, as well as our good friend, Lego Luke, and why not our old friend, Classics 06, Optimus Prime, and that's how they all look together, and it actually scales quite nicely with the old Classics figures. I am looking quite forward to this Menasor figure once it's all completed. That's it for the size comparison, though. Let's get on to the final thoughts so I can really express my grievances with this figure in a proper way and sort of give, a rounded opinion of how this guy is. So, freeze frame.
We are going to steal.
Freeze frame, unfreeze. So, if it wasn't already apparent, not the biggest fan of this figure. I think the detailing is pretty nice. I really like the color scheme. The gray and the red contrast really nicely. Plus, something I didn't say when I was going over the details is that I absolutely love this trans clear red. As you can see, it casts a really nice shadow over the legs here as the light goes through it, as well as the inclusion of light piping. It's those little things that make sort of an older soul like me who grew up with Chug happy. It's just that there's not enough of it, and more than that, some of the aspects of the transformation, such as the wrists and the way the legs work, really just give me Combiner Wars vibes, and the reason I'm buying this set is so that I can get rid of the notion of the 2015 Combiner Wars Menasor, which is really the last hurrah for me collecting Transformers as a kid. This is the first thing I've been collecting as an adult. So it just sort of falls flat on my expectations. I don't really like the transformation all that much. I think there's a lot that can be learned from the engineering. Whereas I really liked Drag Strip, Wild Rider he isn't my favorite. Let's just say that. Regardless, though, that's my opinion. You can always have yours. I personally don't like it all that much. It's just one of 5 that I will need to eventually make Menasor, and Menasor, hopefully, from what I've heard, will exceed that expectation that I've so willfully built up with this figure. But if you like Wild Rider here, if you like the Stunticons, if you like Decepticons, Transformers in general, make sure you share this video with all your friends, share it with your Facebook groups, all that good stuff. If you liked the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. Really helps me keep making these videos for all you, keep pumping out all the reviews. That's going to be it for this video, my friends. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, peace.